Apparently, it's really hot. But these are the teams. We've got 2 ugly to be blocked, the Nurgle Powerhouse, and then Sheep Hat Trick. This might be the highest team value game I've seen in Blood Bowl 3. So I'm looking forward to it. It looks like there's just a even team value, so just a cheeky babe cheerleader or something. Let's see, Cheap Hat Trick lost the toss and has to defend. And let's look at some of these pieces. We've got some big whites, got Mighty Blow whites. This one's armor busted. Only one good flesh golem, but the main stars of the show are the werewolves. Look at these guys. Movement Agi 2+ on a blood stepper, and then we've got the killer, the tackle, Mighty Blow, guard, side, not guard, claw, sidestep. This guy will kill anything on the pitch from a long way away. And then on the other side, we've got Sharim, 8324, 9+ armor. Possibly the best Festigor ever to do it in terms of raw stats. We'll see if he can back it up with a Super Bowl win to go into the Pantheon. And time out. So we lose a turn straight away, which is pretty rough for the Nurgle. But again, movement 8, you only really need to get to about here in 7 turns, so it takes a lot of pressure off the Nurgle drive. And this is just Nurgle nastiness. We've got 2 really good blaters. Oh, we got 1 really good blater, sorry, this one's on his way. But this guy's a real beast. He's got dodge. He went for Mighty Blow Claw and then block dodge, which feels like a bit of a hedge, but what Eamon has realized is that he will never be able to get like more than 2 bloaters through the redraft. So he's putting it all into all the good skills onto one piece, and he kind of is a multi-tool. He can kill, he can stay on his feet, you know, provide some assists with guard. Now we've got the Agi up killer. Watch out for this guy. He will cut corners on a 2+, and he will sometimes dive sideline cages. Sure hands is a very good skill. We pick up the ball, no foul, which is a little bit surprising. We do have a dirty player stood here, but I think we're just on pure fear of the werewolf. We don't want to expose any sort of chain push play by having these guys. Let's say we stand here and foul, that fills up a square. We are going to try and go after all. That's an early double skull. I was about to say we try and go after the bloaters, but they're going to be a tough target. They've all got disturbing presence, foul appearance, which will always proc at the worst possible time. It looks like we're just going to pass turn essentially here. We don't want to take a werewolf blitz. There's too much risk of the werewolf getting stuck and then killed. Oh, why am I in kick mode? Jesus. Alright, as long as I keep my cursor off the screen, it'll be fine. Piece of cyanide coding brilliance right there. I wonder if they call themselves cyanide because everyone wants to take cyanide when playing their games. That's no good. Push back on, that's the dirty player, yeah. So there's actually a tackle roster, not a dirty player roster, which makes the fouling decisions a lot more sensible. Because the Nurgle team do not have as much regen as the Necro, obviously, so the fouling will always slightly go in favour of the Necro in terms of value. If it's lineman for lineman. It's pretty slow. I'm glad we got this on the replay, because if these guys were taking 2.5 minutes to do all this, then it would have been a long afternoon. Foul appearance does nothing. We're going to keep going back and forth on Walia here. And just kind of hang out. And in the olden days, in the good old days, where you couldn't get movement 8 on Nurgle, this would be good enough as a defensive strategy. But as it stands, Nurgle can always just make his play on turn 6 and not be worried about doing anything until then. Got a rookie. Oh shit. This is going to get really on my wick, isn't it? If I do this, there we go. Let me arrow across a bit. Yeah. Alright, now we're replay casting. Turn up and pout. This guy does have a niggling injury. They will probably try and foul if they can here. Oh yeah, we're getting involved. Going after the good golem. Just pushes. And Amano decides that's not enough. I want to kill this guy and rolls a 1 in 9. Fortunately, we have Juggernaut. I think he might... Oh, I would have pushed the Juggernaut. Put him onto the Wrestle Rotter, potentially. Although I suppose a lot of the times he can just follow up. And then be in a good position. So this is fine as well. Slowly shifting all the beef to the left of centre here. There's not much to cover this right hand side. It's just Rotter, although it is a very good Rotter. That's wrestle, tackle, and block on a Rotter. Purely three very good randoms. A lot going on. What is this cursor? No idea. Anyway, first foul of the day. Oh, we get a break. And he's injured. Do we get a regeneration? No, the ref's not happy though. And there's no bribes, so we're going to have to straight up argue and hope for the best. He says, no, get out of here. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. Rotter for a lot of skills there. So a very good trade there for the Nurgle. The ball has dropped all the way back. I don't know if you've noticed that. So a nice way to not worry about werewolves is just move 12 squares away. And we have the killer safe, like the killer linebacker goat here, which I hate to hover over because it brings up the kick overlay again. But what he's doing is making sure that if a werewolf does try and go for it, he'll get cut off unless he sits in this right-hand sideline. Oh, foul appearance from downtown. Jeez, that's a really funny interaction. The fact that you had to declare the blitz, so you roll the foul appearance check before you activate. That's good times. Up comes the ball. We like that turn. There was not a lot going there for the Necro. It was the one turn a game where foul appearance triggers. It was a fairly important one as well, so it's a bit of a shame for Fiction. He's just a bit overmatched in the bash department, and we're regretting the tempo reroll because we've rolled a double skull, and that means we have to burn our second reroll. That leaves us 1 for the scoring play, but we do just straight up kill somebody in exchange. I say tell a lie. Regen doing a thing. So that will give that regen is one of the main things for Fiction here. You just got to hope that, you know, yeah, he'll cas everything, but most of the time it comes back, or half the time it comes back. And rotters don't do that, so if I can just keep punching rotters, eventually they'll run out of shot. And yes, he's got amazing pieces, but I've got werewolves too. So that's what that's about. Oh. I must admit, I do like replay casting. Actually, I like the tempo of the game is a lot better to commentate on for me. Anyway, are we going to come off the edge here? We can't because he's standing up. But next turn we can come around the right hand side with this white. Not white. Is it white? I don't know. It used to be. They used to be whites. Now they're like ghosts. And there's not a lot on here because we do have the 2 guard bloaters in prime position. We can only get 1 dice. It is enough. And there's another foul appearance proc. Oh my god, I wish my Nurgle guys did this back in Blood Bowl 2. And we take a 1 dice skull because we have to, and we can only find a push. So we postpone the pain of 2 bloater mighty blow punches. At least for now. But there's just a lot of strength there. You can see it's quite hard. Bit of Fiction has to get a bit lucky and hope for the best because he's only getting 1 dice in a lot of places. The foul appearance on that flesh golem block was really brutal. And here comes the super rotter. A super rotter versus super zombie. And now we're going to establish its dominance here. Oh, and then we get to come in and blow open this side with a killer blitz. We do have Juggernaut, so both down would have been fine. And a push would have been fine. No break, but that's the main job done. Do we want to run down that line on turn 6 is the question. It's a bit scary. We do have the sidestep Ghost Boy. Forgotten his name. Making things problematic. And we take it both down here. We find a stun with it. So a slight win for Amino. I will be very biased here, I'm afraid, because I am a G-Man coach. And Amino is one of the few G-Man hopes left. G-Man and Rizzi. Anyway, Werewolf on Rotter action, no break. It's going to be hard for Fiction not to get tilted. That keeps happening. If you keep hitting the Rotters with Mighty Blow, they're supposed to die. And when that doesn't happen, it can undo some coach's mental. It would undo my mental, is what I'm trying to say. Well, I'm sure Fiction's a more well put together human being than I am. Again, we're just reduced to these one die checks on the bloaters. And they're paying off, to be fair. Fiction's rolling what he has to roll, he's not shying away from it. or trying anything crazy to get 2 dice. Still got a reroll in the tank in case we do roll a skull. But you know, elf coaches live off 2+s and they seem to do fine, so why can't the necro? Anyway, we're really going after these flesh columns now. Killer's in position. He's hoping to eventually trigger claw, but he's only rolled a 5 there. Can we get safety? I believe we can. That stun on the rotter from that both down is actually really important. I think. Stun on the zombie even, not the rotter. Because we can now go to the sideline cage. It's not amazing because we can't quite cover the sideline. I think there could well have been a rush here from Elgarum if he didn't rush, or he might have already rushed, but he should really be stood there. We'll see how Fiction goes about this because it's currently a very easy turn 7 play. He does have sidestep on his werewolf, so there is some 1-turn line, but he's used 2 rerolls at the same time, so it's fairly unlikely. And that's a 1 in 9, but we do have wrestle, so that's actually a really nice wrestle down. Sets up the flesh golem. And we're going to go over the top to mark, and then we're going to dodge out and go underneath. Oh, I like it. I don't think Amino saw that one coming. But Fiction did, and he's got his 1 dice. He's going to use a reroll for this. Yep, it's all in, and you can only find a push to pin. And we don't pin, we go backwards 1. I like that. Well, do I like that? Let's move an 8. Oh, do we have tackle on this piece? We do. Oh, I see. The killer goats just look downwards. And we're going to blitz away. We do have sidestep. Oh, and that's a dub skull. We need a 6, really. We don't get it. And sidestep is going to get right in the way. Right. Oh, he just walks away like that. That's foul. That is really foul. I forgot about who that blow to. I thought that was a zombie and it was a rotter. So that was actually quite a nice line. But that was unlucky, I think, from Fiction. I'm trying to think how I could have set that up differently, to be honest. That zombie ended up being in just the right square. Rather wrong. That rotter ended up being in just the right square, sorry, when it was up here. Because it meant that a werewolf couldn't... It meant that the no could get down the actual sideline. Yeah, tough break for Fiction. I don't know what more he could have done on that drive. And it ended up still being quite easy. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard to play against Amino, because his offense can look so easy against bash teams. And it's sort of very demoralizing because you feel like that you have no agency. And in a lot of ways that matter, you actually don't have agency, so it's a fair complaint. We get a solid defense. We're going to do some... Okay. So... We're going to try and make the 1 turn harder? Yeah. A good perfect defense. That's another little shot to the heart for Fiction. You set up for a potential 1 turn. You don't have a reroll, but it's the principle thing, you know. We are going to go for it, though. Oh, we dub skull on the first frenzy block. That's a yikes. That is a real yikes. And we'll go to the half. All Aemon, all G-Man, 1-0. Necro still get to have a drive, though. It's only half time. Sorry. I don't have my phone on me. Let me just tap the Twitch chat real quick, see if anyone's saying hello. Sorry about this. Nope, okay, cool. Why is my screen display on? Sorry, I might have already paused the replay. Anyway. We'll crack on. 3 rotters, sacrificial lambs. We put the wrestle one out there. We put the sure hands one, no, the stripper one out there, and we put the tackle one out there. Just take some punches, and the wrestle sometimes wrestles them down. Cheering fans. I believe that's a draw. They're both still on 3. Intensive training. Oh wow, they gave him... high and hard skin till the end of the match. That's a really nice idea. Don't really know why he got that prayer. Maybe it's a team value on the pitch and the ghouls coming on has tipped it in the favour. I don't know how it works. Yeah, we're going to carry on the ghoul. Both werewolves are bringing some pain, as they should do. They've got a lot to chew through, so makes sense. Alright, Mighty Blow on Rotter. Does the Rotter stay alive? No, he doesn't. Well, he stays alive, just about badly injured. One down. 10v11 for the Necro. And we're going to bring in some boot here as well. 5 assists. Just a stun. Got a 3 on the injury check there. Alright, Nurgle setting up for the defensive half. Defending half. Oh my god, I've been watching too many terrible streamers with bad English and their vocabularies. Their grammar's running off on me. Yeah, the defend on his half. Defending half. Gets to do nothing, and we get to kill a guy. So Nurgle going blow for blow. That would be back though. The zombies are regenning. Regen is doing its job, which is always good. The worst case scenario for Necro and Undead is when Regen decides not to work for a match and it's just like, oh, I just don't have enough. It isn't fun. I think a downside of all these moving up pieces is that there's not a lot going on the first 5 turns of each half. We're just punching and rolling dice here. Going to the casino. Werewolves, and again, there's just so much like pain in the second line of the Nurgle defense that Fiction doesn't really want to blitz with his not with his rotters to foul. And we do get one gone now. 30 player not doing a thing actually. That was just a straight up normal foul, but with enough assists to get the job done. We're gonna go straight back in on the dirty player who has exposed himself in the process. And do we punish in one block? We do. That is a really tough punish there. He was exposed for 1 turn, for 1 hit, and that was all it took for Ugbra to sweep in and get him off the pitch for the drive. And now it's going to look like a quick score. Well, a quicker score. Because we're running out of people to put in the way of these goats. If we're Fiction. And these rotters are going away a lot slower. The White's he's doing his best though. He's going after the weaker pieces, putting Mighty Blow hits on him. And that time we rolled a 5 on it. The ball moves up over to where the skilled players are, the skilled defensive pieces are. Sorry, skilled. You know what I'm trying to say. These guys have more skills than this guy, this zombie. Man, it's too early for this. Sorry, Fiction. I'm really butchering a replay cast. A nice healthy cage. We are keeping the wolves in cotton wool because we've seen what happens when you stick your neck out against this Nurgle team. It's pretty brutal. But we have left on a punch for a rookie bloater. And we get to wheel in big old Marcus. Some prime real estate here in the middle of the pitch. Tied up on the best flesh column. And you'd back Marcus every day of the week in that matchup. There's no other. The other guard is also stuck with the Necro team. And we're just going to wheel in with Claw. Here comes the pain. Can Baruda go 3 for 3? He can't. But there's not much the Necro pieces can do apart from stand up for more punishment next turn. Because the other guard is stuck here on the Super Rotter and a rookie. And there's not much. Oh, we can get an assist here. We can move a zombie in here and then stand up and blitz, but it's scary. We never really want to do it because it's blodge. We only ever really want to do it with a werewolf, and there's a frenzy trap here. So it's a very strong position for the piece. And we're going to use our own stand farm to try and keep the werewolves out of danger. We can't go with Mighty Blow, we just go with Claw, that might be enough. Ooh. Just a stun. Rolled a 7, our Mighty Blow would have done the job, I think, there. Because we rolled a 10 on the armor. I think Mighty Blow would have knocked that out. Unfortunate. Ball does move up, and we get the sidestep out leading the charge here. And our other sidestep also in front of the ball, so any attempt to cut it off will probably be frustrating. We've got 3 sidestep in a row. Yeah, we're just going to go in on the rookie. We have Tackle Mighty Blow on a ghoul, which is always a good idea. And Chakis opens his account with a KO on the ghoul. And who can we plug into this spot? I don't think we can get Marcus the bloater in. I think he's double based up there. I'm pretty sure this is a zombie, yeah, so we're going to go in with the backup, which is Dieter. And we're just going to let the score happen. I think we're happy for a turn 12 score, sorry, a turn 13 score. And we're backing our movement 8 guy to run it in for a 2-1. Replay is over. What do you mean? It's still going. Well, ignore that. We're carrying on. We are going to blitz with the, not with the ball carrier, with the wolf. Try and clear a path. That'll do. Ooh, a 2+1 die. It's scary. Why is the ball? The ball's off on a mad one. I don't actually know who has the ball. Didn't go out of bounds. I assume it's on this sure has go, yeah, and he's going to run it in. That's going to be 1-1. So even though it hasn't won the game, that's just a weird bug. So that's we got 1 orchard. Bit lonely. You gotta if you're gonna hire cheerleaders, you gotta hire like 3 or 4, you know. So they've got some company, otherwise it just looks a bit embarrassing. Like these guys know what's up. They're hanging out with the boys. Very deep boat. A deep sea boat. For the neck break. Don't know if that's the answer to a movement 8 pesticle. But it does give the wolves... The wolves are fast enough that I don't think it matters. It's just making sure that the Nurgle don't get easy blitzes. Aemon gets a reroll for his troubles. Yeah, and this is why they set up deep. It's because the bloaters and the rotters have to just waddle on forward and can't blitz. And they can't really blitz. I mean, you can in theory blitz, but it's scary. You leave a very good Castigor out and exposed. What it does do though is give space for the Nurgle to walk up on. But they won't be able to cover the width of the pitch, and the idea is that you get a werewolf around the side. So that's why I'm a little bit confused at why they're tucked. I think it's just a hangover of standard boat protocols, but realistically no one's getting behind the boat. Literally, I don't think it's possible. So you may as well have them here so they can get to the sideline quicker, because that's your only best way back into the game, is to get around a Nurgle Warden, especially a ball carrier. But it's easy for me to say up in the booth. It's a lot harder to do on the pitch. And when you're up against what feels like an impossible task, because you got this Juggernaut guy taking out all your wrestle pieces. Did that actually knock him out? It did knock him out, but he's still on the pitch. The game's gone a bit weird. This guy is off the pitch. I like that though. It's like it reminds you of what's happened in the drive. Just a slew of like KOs and crosses as the Nurgle stroll down the pitch. Who are we going after here? The killer is hittable, and we're gonna take our shot, I think. Oh, he's not really that hittable. We have to get all the way around with a werewolf. Yeah, we're going after the blaster instead. Nice. Oh. Okay. Caught up. They did get the knockout there. Everyone's confused. The game finally remembered. Oh no, he's still there. He's still the other KO guy's still down. It tried to get rid of the first KO with the multiple injuries screen, but it didn't work because the piece is still on the pitch. I suspect we'll be seeing multiple injuries on every single Kaz for the rest of the match. But anyway, no. We're going to leave the carnage behind across the pitch. But the werewolves have stood still. So this is still a bit dangerous. We're going after the good flesh golem to try and mark a werewolf. I think this is a smart idea. No, we're going to stay put. We're not going to mark the werewolf. We just want to hurt somebody. No, we do. We wanted that particular square. So we're going to run the risk of a rush. We do get it because we're just that good. Yeah, stomping over that KO'd zombie. But we do still have 2 werewolves available. And one of them is Agi up. So I'm expecting a dive here. I'm expecting a mark and then a dive in to a surf on a 1-die. I think that has to be Fiction's line here. I don't really like the ball being 2 squares away from the sideline when there's an Agi up werewolf on the pitch. It's not. You're just begging for trouble. And trouble is what it's going to be. If we can actually make a dodge roll. Which we can't. We want to 9 it. And that is probably GG. Yeah. We're going to try and stall and also... Well, this guy has sidestep, so we're not in the business of surfing werewolves today. But we're going to put a lot of Nurgle meat in the way. And hopefully, yeah, we're being a bit more sensible about it. We're making him dodge into 4 tackle zones if they want to try and surf. Or run all the way round a bloater. Okay, serious injury on the werewolf. That's one down. He comes back though. Good old regen. Fiction will probably be back next year if he chooses to play Necro. It's the piece. The team's pretty much unscathed. Depends what the redraft looks like, I suppose. But Zoom Dog's still in the game, and while Zoom Dog is in the game, there's always a chance. I say this as the fouling piece comes in. Can't break the armor though. Rod of 3. So there's always hope. Because we can also... Well, actually, is there that much hope? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, there's actually not that much hope, Jeff. You'd have to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you have to run around like this and just go red die into red die. It would be very cool if it works though. Trying to flash my mind back to the Necro drive. I don't think there was too much going on that Fiction could have done differently, and maybe there was a world where he doesn't hang his Dirty Flare. We're going in with the Ghoul because we go in this time. The Ghoul was the 1, and we have to re-roll this for a 6, and we find a 1, and that does kind of sum up the thing. Fiction, that should be GG. In fact, it is GG. Straight up. No should be's about it. That's the end of Fiction's playoff run. And yeah, he met the fate that many Bash teams meet when they go up against Aim&O. It's just like, it's a Nurgle team, but it has its own werewolf. And the Nurgle pieces are usually better at bashing than the Necro pieces. And that will be all she wrote. At turn 16 finish up, Aim&O will go through. So G-Man, finally a G-Man team wins a playoff game. It's been a little bit of a while. There's a lot of them lost in the first couple of rounds. But commiserations to Fiction. Congrats to Aim&O. I don't think... Oh, is there a 1-turn attempt? I don't think they do have a 1-turn attempt because it's Necro. Necro started. Necro started this half. So they'll have had their turn 16 before Aim&O had his turn 16. I think that's it. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Yeah. I'll play both coaches. I don't think there was too much wrong. least in terms of mistakes. I think there's some cool moves. I think Eamon did make a mistake there on his turn 15. Didn't. I think because the werewolves hadn't done much, Eamon had sort of forgotten what they could do, and he really got away with one there. I don't know. I don't think he'll make that mistake in the next round. As it was a big wake up call, but a wake up call for Eamon is just like the last fuck you from Nuffle to Fiction. So I understand why Fiction's been a bit downbeat, because that was a pretty brutal way. It always hurts when your opponent makes a mistake and then the dice like fully bail them out for the mistake and just lose you the game. But that's Blood Bowl, baby.